Next item on the agenda is the CNO report, quality report. Sue, take it.
Well, thank you and good evening. I'm going to be very brief. I know Loretta sent you out the quality improvement plan in your little board packets. I hope you had a chance to review it. This is a plan, hospital plan, so it comes up for annual review. And this is just a formality. We didn't make any changes from last year. We did review it as a committee, however. The board of directors do have a responsibility, and basically it's to quality. It's that you support quality, that you're all about quality, that you appoint, or not appoint, there's directors here, there's initiatives going on, and that you all, and that you get informed of that as well. I will have the annual quality report to you, to the board, in a couple of months, so be looking for that, about what we've been doing as a facility-wide. So that's really it in a nutshell, no changes. I just would like to have approval on this, if I may. And I'll be happy to take any questions you may have.
Okay. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at this? If not, take a couple of minutes. Any questions anyone might have of Sue?
Who all's on the committee?
Oh, it's comprised of directors from every department. The other day, in fact, one of the persons that was here, we took a picture of the room. All of this was full, all of those seats were full, and over here, there was 23 people here talking about quality, and that just struck me. I said, take a picture because this is amazing. So, yes, it's the department heads, clinic and hospital side. So,
Any other questions? Anybody? Do I hear a motion that we approve the report?
so moved.
Second? Moved by Allison Lambert, seconded by Tom Miller, that we approve the CNO report, quality report. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion carries. Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Now we're at item number 9, strategic planning and marketing committee report. Ryan, do we have a report at this point?
I do.
Okay.
We recently met with the strategic planning and marketing committee report. There were quite a number of citizens here present to offer their input and suggestions and comments about the countywide EMS service. That was the only topic of the strategic planning and marketing committee. And it was quite a spirited meeting. I guess it lasted 2.5 to 3 hours. We listened. And at the end, we polled the board and we asked the board for what direction the board would like to go in, and the board, or the committee, the members of the committee, and unanimously agreed to go forward with the EMS, the countywide EMS program. So that is our recommendation to the board, to go forward with the countywide EMS program. And also at that committee meeting, we were presented with the rollback petition signatures. I believe there was a little over 3,700 signatures that were presented to the committee and to request a rollback election.
Okay. Since the committee's recommendation is not to change directions, I don't think we need a vote on that, because we're going to continue in the direction that we started on. So the committee's recommendation is to continue the course that we have started. Okay, we were presented with the petition. Yes. Okay. Next item, number 10, rollback petition pursuant to section 26.07 tax code. Consider and take action upon petition for tax rollback election, including determination of validity of the petition in accordance with section 26.07B Texas Tax Code. We have been presented with the petition. What's the findings as far as the validity thereof? Go ahead, Brian.
Here are just a couple of slides. Obviously, when the petition was presented, we wanted to make sure that there was good and thorough review of that. So some facts here to share. On November 30th, again, the rollback petition was delivered to the Strategic Planning Committee that required the hospital to certify the petition prior to December 20th. We are ahead of that deadline. And if the petition is considered to be valid, to schedule a special election prior to March 20th of 2017. So the November 30th date put us on that timeline. We did obtain direction from our Connally attorney related to the review process. She instructed us to obtain the voter rolls, instructed us to review signatures line by line, review the petition line by line, and to determine if the signatures were indeed valid, and that she gave us some directions about how to do that. That work was conducted. Long story short, I think that those citizens of Wilson County would understand that we had an obligation to review the petition extremely carefully, and we did do that. A couple of facts. This is just an interesting thing to share so that you were aware. Each page of the petition had this language on it. Number one, of the Wilson County tax rate rollback petition of the Wilson County Hospital District 27.5% tax rate increase that exceeds the allowable at 8% ad valorem rate. There was a period of time where there was some exception taken with this language, and that was thoroughly reviewed. At the bottom of the petition, there was also a point where each of the petition circulators had to swear before a notary public that they did the following things. That they called each signer's attention to the above statement, that they did that before the signer affixed the signature, that the actual petitioner witnessed the affixing of each signature. That was something that was sworn. That the correct date of signing was shown, and that the circulator verified that each signer's registration was verified, and that each signature is the genuine signature of the person whose name is signed, and the corresponding information for each signer is correct. So in this process, the people who circulated the petition, again, swore with the notary public that they did all of those steps. As you can imagine, with a petition of 270 pages, there were inconsistencies. That is a fact to be reported. In fairness, that is probably something that you would expect, but there were inconsistencies. More than 10% of the 270 pages had the following inconsistencies. Some of the fields that were on the petition were missing dates, or had incomplete addresses, or there was no date of birth provided, or in some cases there was no voter registration ID number recorded. That wasn't required for a signature to be valid, but that verification process didn't occur consistently across the 270 pages. In addition, there were signatures that were excluded that were from non-Wilson County residents. It was clear that some folks from San Antonio with San Antonio addresses had signed the petition. You know, maybe they picked it up at a local business or saw the petition somewhere and signed it. There were signatures of non-county residents. Also, factually, there were a number of signatures where a person signed multiple different pages. Maybe they signed it at a business, and then at another time they had signed a different page. There were a few folks that had duplicate signatures. Again, I'm not a handwriting expert at all, and I don't claim to be, nor will I claim to be, but in reviewing the petition as carefully as we felt obligated to, there were about 17 occurrences where multiple signatures were apparently or appeared to be completed by the same hand. It was evident if you were looking at the petition particularly carefully. So there were inconsistencies across the 270 pages that were submitted. I'm reporting that only to you factually as an indication of the thoroughness with which those petitions were reviewed. This was a serious matter. We wanted to make sure that we took it extremely seriously. That is our job. All that being said, at the end of the day, there were 3,741 signatures collected, and that did exceed the required 10% of the 31,332 registered Wilson County voters. At the end of the day, the language used on the petition was identified to be valid, and so my recommendation today is to certify the petition as a valid petition for a rollback election. We will have a resolution presented to the board to that effect. And then the second piece of that work will be to prepare an election order to be prepared for signature. So the first agenda item is item A, and we will need to address that first.
Does anyone have any questions about the petition or anybody? Do I hear a motion that we certify this petition?
And we will do it with the attorney prepared resolution.
Okay.
I want to see this.
Just take a look.
You read it?
Require your signature, so.
Okay.
I don't wanna take it again. So do we need to vote to have him sign this? Is that what we?
Yes, we need to approve that resolution.
Okay.
That somebody needs to, can someone else besides me motion it since I have to sign?
Probably.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion by Ronnie Eckel to sign this certification. So I hear a second.
You want to read it?
You want to read it?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Go ahead and read it.
I move that we certify the resolution of this board of directors for Wilson County Memorial Hospital District. Whereas the district adopted a tax rate that exceeded the rollback tax rate calculated as provided for in Chapter 26 of the Texas Tax Code. And whereas a tax rollback petition was served on the district on November 30th, 2016, to petition for an election to be held to determine whether or not to reduce the tax rate adopted for the current year to the rollback tax rate calculated as provided in Chapter 26 of the Texas Tax Code. And whereas the Board of Directors has reviewed the tax rollback petition and determined that the petition is valid, therefore I move that we adopt and accept this petition and certify this petition.
Okay.
So move.
Been moved by Ronnie Eckel, seconded by Allison Lambert, that we sign and certify this petition. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion carries. Item number B, consider and take action upon an order calling for a tax rollback election in accordance with Section 26.07D of the Texas Tax Code and matters related to said election. I think what we need to do today is maybe set a date and then accumulate all the related, or do we just need to go ahead and accumulate first?
What the guidance was is that we need to prepare an election order for signature.
Okay.
Since tonight we have now certified the election, the next step is to prepare an order of election for signature, and you want to authorize me and our attorney to prepare that document completely, which will set the date and the polling locations.
Okay,
Do we want to set the date tonight?
I guess we can. Or is that something that the attorney said? But you guys want to present in the order.
We don't have complete
I
information.
think the chief, our recommendation was to just prepare the order of election for signature.
Authorize the preparation of the order of election.
Okay. Was that a motion?
So moved.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, repeat that one more time, so I know exactly.
I move that we authorize the preparation of the order of election.
Okay.
To Brian and the attorneys?
Yes.
Do I hear a second? Okay, been moved by David Watson, seconded by Kay Dagan, that we prepare the order for election. Have Brian and the attorneys prepare the order. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion carries. Okay. Next item, review, consider, take action regarding any of the following issues from the Finance Committee meeting. Review, consider, and take action regarding the November summary and financial analysis. What is the recommendation of the Finance Committee?
The Finance Committee recommended that we accept the November summary and financial analysis.
We had a lengthy discussion in finance about this. Do you guys want to review this again? Or is that good enough? Okay. Any questions, discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Okay. Moved by Tom Miller, seconded by Allison Lambert, that we accept the November summary and financial analysis. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? All right, next item is the capital purchase, the MRI machine. Were you all here when we talked about that? David, were you in on that conversation?
Yes.
About the MRI? Okay. Do we need to review this in more detail? Okay. Brian, you want to?
Yeah, our recommendation is to purchase a Philips Ingenia MRI for the following reasons. It being the lowest cost of the finalists, superior image quality, excellent for our patients, wide bore setup, and being new in the product life cycle. Our return on investment for this purchase is 4.25 to 4.5 years, and we had a robust radiologist endorsement of this product. So we're very satisfied both with the great job Bob Gillespie and the radiology department did in negotiating this work, a team effort, and very satisfied with our result here.
This is the capital lease, not a
That's-
purchase.
That's correct, this is a capital lease.
This is approved tonight. When's the date it starts, and when's the date we first take an MRI?
We'll have to get in line. This will be about a 3 or 4 month plan. It could be sooner. We have to get the construction company together with the vendor, and we have to coordinate all those efforts. So
Hopefully sometime
usually
in
it's
the middle of summer?
I'm actually hoping March, April.
Oh,
We're just
okay.
trying, I'm gonna push to
Okay.
get in.
3 to
that
4
quickly.
months for completion.
Yes.
So this is a 5-year capital lease with a $1 buyout.
That's
in the
correct.
5 years.
Dr. Moorhead, how will this help you?
One of the biggest limitations of our MRI now is it's outdated and the image quality is poor. So we wind up sending a lot of these patients, if we have an option, to another place. It's similar to having an old camera that doesn't take good pictures, and you get a new camera that takes good pictures. So honestly, Brian, I think your return on investment might be sooner. Because there's a lot of patients that get sent, just thinking off the top of my head, myself, Hassan, Krause, for patients at another place. I've sent probably in the last 6 months 12 or 15 patients. So that's several that could have been done here, and I know the other providers do too. So.
Okay. Very good.
The Finance Committee recommended that we move forward with the capital lease of the MRI machine.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion? Do I hear a motion? Okay.
Follow the recommendations.
Okay. Been moved by Kay Dagan that we complete the capital purchase of the MRI machine, recommended by the Finance Committee, seconded by David Watson. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the medical office building executive session. We have discussed that in executive session, so we'll move on to D, the Endeavor report. Carl?
Yes, sir. This is an informational item, just to let you know kind of what's going on with Dr. Brand and the Victoria Emergency Associates. Just kind of going back to basics, Dr. Brand provides physicians to cover our ER. And as a reminder, that contract is held with South Texas Regional. They're our partner in this under the uncompensated care program. So basically, they pay Dr. Brand $1, and then at a time dictated by the state, we send up 70 cents. It's a way, a reminder, it's a way for Texas to pull more Medicaid dollars down to the hospitals and get them to them through this program. So we have a partner in this who actually holds the contract. So that's why it's not an action item. It's not a contract held by the hospital district. However, Dr. Brand is requesting an increase in pay for his physicians, and also we're looking at the MS directorship as part of the new agreement. The increase in pay is pretty significant. He is struggling with staffing our ER because of the freestanding ERs that are popping up on every corner in the urban areas. If you're not familiar with that, you've seen them, but basically they're a fully licensed ER, usually under another hospital license, kind of a satellite to the hospital. And the big systems in San Antonio are putting them in different areas to capture market share. And they're very profitable, and so they don't see as high a volume, and they're still able to stay open. So from a physician standpoint, an ER physician, it's an attractive place to go work because you're not as busy, and you get paid more. They're actually paying more than we're paying. This is a phenomenon we're seeing throughout the state. As recently as 4 months ago, we just renegotiated in our Grant Hospital for the same reason, and they're not as close to a metropolitan area as we are. So it's also an issue for in the hospital that we work with in Gatesville. So it's a common problem. So he wants to raise the pay in order to keep and be able to attract quality physicians. So with that, right now, the way the agreement's set up is we guarantee he will collect a certain amount of money. When he collects that amount of money, it costs us $0. When he is short of that, then South Texas, in this case, makes up the difference, and then we pay, again, 70% of that when we transfer the money. So under the current agreement, on average, it fluctuates. Sometimes, like during the summer, there was 0 subsidy. Sometimes there's more or less, again, depending on his collections and the volume. But we averaged last year about $15,416 a month, or we did average $15,416 a month. And he's requesting about a $30,000 increase in the guarantee. So there's some of those months where he'll still get, he will cover his own expenses. So we're expecting an impact between $200,000 and $240,000 of additional compensation to him that he can be allowed to retain his position. So 70% of that is $140,000 to $168,000 annualized additional cost to us. Again, it's not for approval, it's just for information. We need to get this done. He's losing good doctors. We worked with Brian. Brian's idea, I believe, to come up with the retention bonus. So we have 3 doctors now that we want to keep. And it's this is also in the new dollars that if they stay a year, they get a certain amount of money. So each year, it's an incentive to stick around with us and not leave. That's on top of the new dollars in their contract. The problem is, it's got to run through CHS, Community Health Systems. It's a large company, so we're working with their attorneys to get the agreement approved and back to us. So again, the main reason for communication is just to update you on how things are going with Dr. Brand, but also the additional cost that's going to be here. This is in our budget. We have it in the budget, so it is accounted for, although those dollars have not been spent yet. So that was the purpose for the budget. And the reason I'm involved is just to get it pushed through, to work with CHS and get this done, because it's been dragging on for a little bit.
So when will it be ready for board consideration?
The attorney for CHS told me, hey, he'll get right back to me. That was Tuesday. So I'm anticipating February 1st just given the bureaucracy that we have to get it through. And what they look at is just fair market value. They want to make sure that they're not paying Dr. Brand more than what is fair market value. So that's part of the process that's looking at. And then getting it through all the signatures within the corporate structure. Those are the information you put on the agenda, just to make sure we get to mention it.
Okay. Any questions from anyone?
I think just the only thing I would add is the freestanding ER issue. I mean, it is this is a real issue. That's why we budgeted those steps.
We had a presentation at another board meeting that I was at. Mr. Durbin, our auditor, actually did the audit too. He said the ones that aren't affiliated with the hospital system that are doing out of network, so they're not taking Blue Cross contract billing, which is very lucrative. You get a higher rate. Insurance companies have caught up with that now, and they've cut that. So the freestanding ones that aren't associated with a hospital or a system are going south financially. So that's good news for us. The ones in San Antonio, though, are all affiliated with, well, not all, most of them are affiliated with the Baptist system. But the freestanding ones are going to have a tougher time because they don't have access to the insurance.
It's the one in Laverne.
That's a freestanding.
It's a freestanding one, yes.
And then ours is an urgent care clinic, it's not an ER.
Correct.
Which then have to meet the same license, it's lower cost. Mainly urgent care is just extended hours, primary care. That's really what you can go more for.
Okay.
Versus an ER, which has to have 24 hours.
So there would,
CT.
I mean, realistically, because we have ER here, there would never be any reason for us to turn that into an ER. That would just be.
That is it could be a strategy for us. That's not in our plans. It would be a very expensive
Yeah.
outreach. But if it were to keep them from encroaching, as they will someday, into Wilson County. Then the
I haven't seen
big
a lot,
systems.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of cars at that place.
I have heard that excellent care though.
Did it?
I've had mothers tell me that.
The other thing they're dealing with is you go thinking it's urgent care and you get an ER bill. And that's been a big negative for those freestanding. The public now is getting knowledgeable, so they're not, the freestanding ERs aren't getting that easy money where they're treating urgent care and billing for, the public starting to say, hey, don't go there, go to urgent care instead of the freestanding ER. So that's also hurting their margins.
So we're gonna take on about $140,000 to $160,000 in additional expenses.
The cash hit won't be until we transfer, but on the income statement, yes, sir. We accrue it and then we send the cash.
You're saying that you already have that budget? You were aware that this was coming and it was included in the budget?
For sure.
Okay, so I guess my question is, when this happens and they've done a great job for us and understand their competitive challenges that they have keeping doctors and we want to keep good doctors. Do we have a plan to promote this ER and to drive people to this ER I mean, we have a growing population. Do we have a plan to grow those ER visit numbers? Where are we with that? I mean, we're gonna have to address that in order to offset those additional costs.
I think we want both sides of the equation. We don't just want ER growth, we also want the primary care growth and sometimes keeping folks out of the ER over the long haul. So we're really stuck again with our foot in both boats. We make sure that more of our community, when they need ER services, are using our ER and not going somewhere else. That's important. But also kind of looking forward, we want to make sure that we're making sure people are getting into the most appropriate level of care, which is primary care as well. So it's a little bit of both, in my opinion. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I would agree that our two primary care doctors will actually generate more ER, even though they'll also keep those patients here and appropriately keep them out of the ER. But as we expand access, you're going to get more sick patients that would normally go in the same department. So that's part of it. Countywide EMS will drive more ER. That's in that pro forma though. That's a separate dollar amount that's not going to cover this cost I'm talking about. But yes, we've talked about promoting the ER unit.
Yeah, because the way I see it, we have a number of challenges, obviously. Like the ER, that's a challenge. But we have so many benefits, you know, with our clinic system and with our specialists and with our doctors. I would like to see what is our plan? What's the big view of what we're trying to do here? When I see we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, but I see pieces, but I don't see
For promotion or driving business?
what's our model? What's the plan of our model?
Well,
We got a lot. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I would defer back to, again, the Vision 2020 is the model. It's pushing primary care, it's pushing the recruitment of physicians, and then it's, making sure that our facilities and technologies are up to date. So to me, that is the model. I would also say that we are biased towards revenue growth with expense control. So I think that what we've been addressing over the last number of weeks is definitely a heavy expense control side, but the opportunity in Wilson County is on the revenue growth side. So I think marketing, I think, telling our story 1,027 times over, that's where we need to be.
We talked about the call centers, moving barriers to entry for our patients, making sure it's easy for not only our physicians to work here and get in and out, do their work, but for the patients to access us and get in, not wait, in waiting rooms or out in front, or having to have a lot of unnecessary barriers such as extra paperwork, those kind of things. So that it's easy for them, or else they'll take the path of least resistance.
I really do think, Brian, if I were saying it, I would sum our plan up as access. I think access is the plan. That's such a simple word, but to me, it all revolves around access to the ER, access to primary care, access to specialists. And the more access we provide, the less that goes into San Antonio.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think I know kind of what you're saying. I would like to see, we have a lot of moving parts, and we do a really good job in some of those, but I think we're not doing an adequate job promoting the whole operation, so to speak. And I would like to see what is the marketing plan, and I would like to see that brought to the Strategic Planning Marketing Committee to get an organized plan on how, step by step, we're gonna market this facility. I think we're still the best kept secret in healthcare in the county. And we need a step-by-step marketing plan to see how we're gonna promote the different aspects of what we do. Both from a revenue standpoint, enhanced revenue, and a public relations standpoint. I think that's something that we need to get organized. We don't need to be the best kept secret. We need to get that out.
Well, I don't know what percentage of the market share we have now. I'd say we're probably 20-30%, maybe 30%?
Below 30.
Below 30?
Yes.
Below 30, so we still have a tremendous amount of opportunity.
We have the tool now that shows you that, the Crimson tool, Brian previewed the 2 strategic planning meetings.
So now we need
We can
to
tell
have
you
a
what our
strategy
market
on
is.
how we're gonna move forward with that. We need a strategy on that, I think.
Because anybody that drives past here and to go to San Antonio for surgery is missing.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many folks I've said, that I've heard say, I didn't know you guys did that.
Because this guy is outstanding. Everybody you talk to, anybody
Yeah.
drives past him is making a mistake,
Agree.
Yeah.
Good point. Agree. So I think we need to work on that. The strategic planning committee, get together with the marketing team, and let's get a hardcore plan on how we're gonna promote, Connally Memorial.
We'll do.
A good plan.
Gosh, we have so many assets.
Yeah, secret assets, that's a problem. Secret.
Sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you. Anybody have any questions of Carl, any other questions? We have been in executive session. The next item is number 14, to take action if necessary on the items 12A, B, C, or D. The first is medical staff credentials. We all had an opportunity to look at them. There were no reservations from the hospital on that. Do I hear a motion that we accept the medical staff credentials as presented? Do I hear a second? Okay. Moved by Allison Lambert, second by David Watson, that we accept the medical staff credentials as presented. Any questions? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, motion carries. Next item is review and consider possible action related to new services or product line. We had no discussion on that, so next is review and consider possible action related to deliberation regarding the property. There was nothing, we had a discussion about current situation, but nothing to be voted on. Next item was review and consider possible action related to deliberation with attorneys. I think that was an informational session more than anything else. There was nothing there that needed to be voted on. Is there anything else that we need to discuss or any questions this evening? Hearing none.
This folks,
I'm sorry?
did either of these two back here want to address this for you?
Oh, yeah.
No, sir.
Okay.
Make sure. They just didn't have anything to do tonight? You guys gotta get a life.
Okay. Nothing else before the board. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Well, the last few meetings
Merry
have been
Christmas,
pretty good
everybody.
drama.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
It's like Skip said, he said,
Hey,
I'm going
I feel like I need to give you a-
This is the dog.